I will be discussing how our biology and genetics can predetermine psychological disorders within each individual. What is biology? By textbook definition, biology is the scientific study of life. Broken down, this can be defined as the study of all living things. Biology can also be referred to as your DNA and everything you get from your parents. Biology essentially is what makes you, you. What is a psychological disorder? Mental disorders account for about half of the most pressing health concerns of the industrialized world. By textbook definition, a psychological disorder is a behavioral or mental pattern that causes significant distress or impairment of personal functioning, some examples being ADHD, depression, or even anxiety. Biology and psychological disorders. What this really comes down to is the nature versus nurture debate. Nature being your biology and nurture being your environment. In the nature argument, your psychological disorders are genetically predetermined. The nurture side believes that your environment and experiences that you have as you grow up are what creates the disorders. In a book titled The Biology of Psychological Disorders, it states that any environmental or psychological factors would have to affect the biological process in the nervous system in order to alter the mind. By believing this quote, you believe that no matter what or which way you look at it, it is always a biological matter, which helps argue the nature side of the argument. In an article discussing what is known as the 5 major disorders, they go on to discuss how genetics play a role in disorders, stating that many psychiatric disorders tend to run in families. During the research, the author discovered an illness-linked variation for all 5 disorders in certain regions of chromosomes 3 and chromosome 10, going on to say further that they include variations in 2 genes that code for the cellular machinery that helps regulate the flow of calcium into neurons. When this does not happen, it creates the previously mentioned variations in chromosomes 3 and 10. When it comes to ways that combat this issue, there really is no way to combat biology, as the many quotes that I've mentioned say that causes the psychological disorders. Biology is what makes you, you, and there's no way to control your biological makeup. The majority of disorders have a medication available to help control symptoms, but there's no healing a disorder once born with it. As of right now, you have it for life. There's more research needed to fully determine which is correct, nature or nurture, and whether or not there will ever be a way to prevent psychological disorders or even subside them if you're born with them.